Are babies born sinners? Okay, good question. Well, it all depends on how you understand the term sinner. If you understand the term sinner to mean somebody who committed something wrong, then the answer is no. Babies are not born sinners. But if you understand the term sinner to mean as the Bible means it, that someone who is separated from God, then yes, babies are born separated from God, hence they are born sinners in that sense. So all depends, when I'm talking to people, before I say yes or no, I say exactly what I said. Depends what idea we have in our mind. Like an example I gave over lunch, if I stand up here and I say I am gay, probably you will look at me, what in the world is wrong with him? But if 30 years ago, somebody said 30 years ago, if 100 years ago I said I'm gay, everyone say, yeah, well that means he's happy. It's what do you mean by the terminology? So what do you mean by sinner? How do you view it? If you view it biblically, then, well, not necessarily. The Bible takes it more than breaking the law. Sin is breaking the law, but sin also is more than breaking the law. I'll give you a few examples. Romans chapter 7, it would start from verse 16, pick up some context. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me that is in my flesh dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. For if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. What is Paul saying? He's saying, look, I know that the law is holy, just and good. I want to obey the law. I want to do that which is good. But there is something inside of me that's leading me to break the law. So there is the sin outward, which is breaking the law and so forth. But he's saying there is something inside of me, and he called that thing inside of him, he called it sin. He says it's no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth inside of me. Right? So what is this sin that's dwelling inside of Paul that's causing him to break the law? Some people want to say that, well, this is sinful fallen nature. I disagree. Because Jesus took upon him his sinless nature, our sinful fallen nature, did he not? Yes. So does that mean Jesus had sin inside of him? No, because that's what John tells us in John chapter 3, right after that favorite verse, sin is a transgression of the law. It says, whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. And we know that he was manifested to take away our sin, and in him is no sin. So Jesus took upon himself his sinful fallen nature. He was born with sinful fallen nature. I am born with sinful fallen nature. Yet Jesus, in him is no sin. In me is sin. So what is this sin? It's not the sinful fallen nature, because we both had it, but he didn't have sin, I had sin. The sin that he's talking about in Romans 7 is what he expands on in Romans 8. He calls it the carnal mind. I am born with a carnal mind, a mind that is separated from God, a mind that is selfish or has self on the throne. That is the sin that dwelleth in me. Now the Bible clearly presents to us that every human being is born with self sitting on the throne, is born carnal. That's why the solution to our problem is not good behavior. The solution to our problem is new birth. Why? Because the problem is in our first birth. And to stand up and to say that babies are born innocent, babies are not guilty, I agree with all that. But honestly, this tells me you don't know what we're talking about. Because the issue is not if a baby is innocent or not. Of course a baby is innocent. Issue is not is the baby guilty or not. Of course he's not guilty. It's not has the baby done anything wrong or not. Of course he hasn't done anything wrong. The issue is the nature. What life has he inherited? Has he inherited the life of Adam, which is a carnal life? Or has he inherited the life of Christ, which is a spiritual life? By being born of our parents, we inherit the life of our parents, which is a carnal life. That's why we need to be born again to receive the life of Christ, which is a spiritual life. With a correct understanding of what sinner mean, I don't like using the term born sinner because it confuses people. We are all born, babies are born separated from God. That's what the Bible means by the term sinner. And sin is more than just an action. Sin, as Paul says it, is that carnal mind, that selfishness, that internal selfishness that leads to actions.